Fans, this is Todd. So let's go ahead and get started. So this video is going to be about Man at Arms, the new Revelation figure. And I'm telling you, I'm looking at this figure and it looks really good. Hopefully it looks as good out of the package as it does in the package. So I'm kind of excited to see what this is going to be like. So let me go ahead and do my sound check. Before I jump into that, let's do a little recap from our previous video. We were talking about potential wings for Mosquito. And if you didn't watch my last video, you can see me break the Origins Mosquito. I broke his left arm right off. And it was kind of crazy. And somebody told me about this Transformer figure called Waspinator or something like that. And he's got purple wings. So I went ahead and ordered one at Big Bad Toy Store. And hopefully I'll be getting one of those soon. I can show you guys how to put the purple wings on, which will be pretty cool. So anyway, let's do my sound check. Sound check. Sounds good. All right, so I'm here to see your guys' comments as you type. And let's go ahead and open up this cool Man at Arms. Now, Man at Arms, for many years, is one of my favorite figures. Not my most favorite, but in my top 11, and maybe even my top 2 or 3 figures. When I was a kid growing up, I had some friends, and my best friend, JR, reminded me of this figure here. So whenever we'd hang out, when I always pretend in my head that he was Man at Arms, which of course then would make me He-Man, and my friend Darren, he would be Ram Man, and we just kind of all had different roles. Now, I never went around telling my friends all this, that they represented these different figures, but it was just kind of what was in my mind as I was thinking as we're all hanging out together. It's kind of fun. Anyway, here's the box. I should have showed you that first. There's the back of the box. Some really cool artwork and some other figures in the line. And let's go ahead and check out Man at Arms. Now, it does have this really cool insert you can use for backdrop of pictures and stuff. So that's kind of fun. Let's go ahead and throw Castle Grayskull back there. Ooh, okay, it doesn't quite work right for that. But still, you guys get the idea. So let me go ahead. And first of all, he comes with lots of extra hands, which is kind of surprising. He has so many extra hands. Let me toss the secondary light on here so we can have some more light on this figure. Ooh, there we go. All right, so first of all, it comes with a bunch of extra hands, so that's really cool. We see he has armor-plated hands, then he has regular hands, a fist hand, an open hand. Open hands on there, no armor plating, and an open hand on this side with armor plating. So you can see you can mix and match some different ideas. So I kind of like the armor plating idea, so I'm going to use this hand here. Oh, that goes on the left. Oh, you know what? All the armor plating hands are for the left. So it's the left hand too. So I take that back. The armor plating ones are only for the left. The right do not have the armor plating, so that's why they're that way. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and pop them out of here. Let's just cut these elastic pieces out of there. It's funny, this looks like some kind of deluxe figure. I mean, I would imagine this quality that I'm looking at here, like from Mondo or something, not from some regular release figure. I mean, it just looks really good. It's got metallics on it, and I'll stop talking for a minute. Be free, Man at Arms. Now, for those that have watched the cartoon, his name in the cartoon is Duncan, like the donut. So, there we go. Whew. That's a lot of effort, Man at Arms. So, first off, let's check out his, his armor is kind of loose. Maybe I'm not doing it right. There we go. I guess you shove it up on his bicep, then it stays on a little better. Maybe. Looks like it's time for some poster tack. or something else to hold that in place. So he's got forearm armor with a cool little spot on there. He's got armor on the back of his hand, which is cool. And then he has this armor piece here that just wants to keep coming off. And I'm not sure. So I'm just going to take, and I happen to have some black tack right here. The black tack you see me use all the time for everything. I happen to buy this, and I used to use blue and white, and this darker gray tack just works good for so much stuff because it kind of matches the figures better. And it's just got a lot of quick uses without looking like some crazy light blue or some white gum sticking out of the figure. So it doesn't really ruin the aesthetic too much. You could just hide that right underneath here. And I want it to paste to his shoulder or his bicep? His shoulder. So we'll just stick that right up here like it's a pad or something. See where I'm sticking that. And we'll just jam that on his shoulder up there. There we go. Now it will stay on. If not, I may have to put more on his bicep. We'll see. Or jam more on there. All right, so real quick breakdown of articulation. Ankle articulation, double jointed knees. Looks like he has a boot cut. He has a thigh cut. He has a up at the crotch type movement. In the hip area, his waist rotates. He has an ab crunch, which is nicely hidden by the armor. We have a shoulder movement. Ooh, that one's kind of tight. Bicep, and then double elbow joints. And then wrist movement. And it looks like if you pull off his hand, you can take off his cuffs just like the other He-Man. Nope, they glued it on this time. Ooh, no removal on that one this time. Ugh, there we go. All right. And this side, of course, the same articulation, but his hand has the cool armor plating there. And it looks like you can remove the leg armor if you want to. So that's pretty cool too. I have to admit, I really like the way they did this. Now, they didn't have the normal tank we usually see at Man-at-Arms. I mean, he does have some little tank in the middle there, but not the typical tank we usually see that's more rounded. So that's a little different. And this is more angled as well. Now, when I was a kid, I'd always take Man-at-Arms' head, and it wasn't movable up and down like this, but the head was soft rubber, so I could shove his head down like a turtle into that mask. And so that's what I used to do, is I literally shove Man-at-Arms' head, and it just basically fold the plastic or rubber right around his neck down to shove his head like a turtle into that mask. And so that's what I always figured it was, like some kind of mask to hide his face into, breathe, like in case there's smoke from, different weapons going off, leaving smoke clouds everywhere, so he could still breathe and not have the toxic fumes. So with this wider one, yes, it provides more blockage for if, something hits him for armor protection. But as far as hiding his head in there, not quite as readily. It has a lot of air holes on the side. Doesn't quite form fitting around his helmet as much. Now, that all depends on that's your storyline and that's how you go. I mean, most people, not everybody goes that same way. Hey, Green Vash. Yep. I think he looks awesome too. I think this figure just totally blows away the He-Man figure. I am really impressed with this one. He's got a lot of, the color looks great on him. Now his arm is not going up and down correctly on the shoulder. Oh, there we go. I am a little afraid to move it after what happened earlier today, so. All right. So let's go ahead and set him up. And let's grab out his giant. Boom, boom, boom. This thing's huge. That is mammoth. It's almost like a 2000X kind of thing because it's so big. There we go. He is doing some skull smashing with that. Skull smashing Man-at-Arms. All right, so there we go. So, of course, the question is, does his armor fit on a standard Masters of the Universe buck? Well, I just happen to, wow. You know what? That is really comparable. Okay, it's time to pull out Naked He-Man and see if he... Okay, look at that. Naked He-Man's actually taller than Man-at-Arms, so these figures, they actually made the height correct depending on the figure. That is cool. I am actually really impressed that they didn't make all the figures the exact same height. That He-Man's actually taller than Man-at-Arms. So these figures truly are the same size as classics. And now we know because we had more figures released in the line so we could see. And that's probably why I'm really enjoying this figure, because it's the right size. I mean, that's cool. So definitely some fun playability to match with your classics. Let's go ahead and pull his armor off. Let's first pull off his armor, just because his is easier to get off unless I glued it. Did I glue it? Nope, I didn't glue it. There we go. We'll pull off his fist too. There we go. A naked buck with no head. And now let's go ahead and put Man-at-Arms stuff on him to see how it fits or doesn't fit. Because that is the question. Can you use this stuff with your classics, right? Maybe I should have grabbed a green buck to do this on. That would have been way cooler. Now, because the head hole's so large, you can leave his head on to pull it off. So that's kind of cool. So let's go ahead and see if this fits around this muscular torso. And you know, it looks like it might work just fine. So far, so good. Let's try the other side. Hooray! So you can be doing some cool mix and matches with this. So that's cool. Let's go ahead and pull off the leg piece now. And what's interesting is the leg piece has more than one location on how to put it on. So I imagine if you get a larger leg, you can still use this armor on there. Now, if I was smart, I would have grabbed some hot water and had it in here ready to go to help get some stuff apart easier. But not planning ahead. I just said to my wife, I said, you know what? I'm just going to go make a video really quick. I got some figures sitting in there need to be opened. Let's just go do this thing. So that's why I don't have any hot water ready. You think I'd learn my lesson from earlier today with the hot water being ready in all the videos. So let's go ahead and try this armor on. Armor on. So far, so good. Of course, leg armor is pretty basic, so not a lot of sizing going on there. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Looks like it's time to make a new custom Man-at-Arms out of an old green buck. That is cool. All right, now to take off his... So this has to slide off with his hand coming out. Which means I may have to pull his hand off to get that back on. Yep. I'm going to need some hot water to pull that hand off to get that back on. So that's a bummer. But this one should slide off pretty easy. I'm going to pull out my goo and put it on there. And you know what's funny? This actually fits better on a Classics than it did on the actual figure that it came with. That is crazy. Because it's nice and tight on the Classics. Oh. Look at that. Now the head. Bump, bump, bump. It's a little loose on there, but not bad. I actually kind of like how that head looks on there. So I may be doing some swaps. I might even steal his boots and stick them on that figure too. Some nice, massive, giant Man-at-Arms boots. Of course, then the leg piece would fit even better. So there we go. Almost complete except for the hand. I can't slide that on, but I'm sure it will fit. If not, a little bit of hot water and stretching, it should fit then. Same with this too, a little bit of hot water and stretching. And you can have yourselves a really cool Classics Man-at-Arms. And that is not half bad. I'm actually liking that. All right, let's look at your guys' comments. I love how much shading and painted it on this wave. Yeah, it's incredible how well they built these figures. Now it's weird. Look at the texture on here. if you can see that or not. It's kind of like an Incredible Hulk figure. I've seen some Hulk figures like this too. That has the same kind of texturing on the surface of the plastic. I actually am not a fan of these bucks for a couple reasons. One, the shoulders can't go all the way down, so they're kind of stuck out in limbo. And we had that same problem with He-Man too, so you really can't put the arms down, which is what we had with Fat Armor Syndrome a long time ago. But, well, I actually don't even like the double jointed elbows. What I do like about it is there's no holes. The no holes is really cool. As you can see with the old bucks, we had holes there. And I do like the double jointed knees with the kneecap being right in the middle. I think that's a clever way to do it. And I'm not a huge fan of the upper thigh cut because it just ruins the aesthetic of the leg, because you're never going to have a leg sticking out like that. The boots look pretty cool, and they have some good articulation points. So I guess the knees, the boots, and that's about it. Oh, the weapons. The weapons of this line have been pretty cool too. So I will probably be transferring some of my stuff over to a new green buck and creating my own Man-at-Arms for Classics using this new head and these new armors and stuff. It's like I need to tighten this guy's wrist up. There we go. Only if I get that piece on. If I had some hot water on me today right now, I could get that done. I can't even grab my heat gun to do it because I loaned it out. A movie Man-at-Arms would be cool. Yeah, but it's kind of cool because we can now mix and match some stuff and have some fun at it. I mean, this is kind of cool looking. It has like a 2000 vibe to it. But I do like the giant. You know what? You're putting your mace in this hand. I'm tired of that wobbly hand flinging the mace around. There we go. That is awesome. All right. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I just wish they would have fixed He-Man's color. It's just the wrong color, that yellow color. I think the Savage He-Man is the right color. So hopefully when you get the Savage He-Man, we'll have the right color scheme going on. All right. Well, I know this is kind of a short, sweet video. I don't have a lot really to tell you. I just thought this figure was very impressive. Even without swapping its parts to a Classics, it's still a really cool figure. It reminds me of a higher end figure like a Mondo figure, just the way they designed it. I mean, the metallics and stuff on it are really cool and great. Not a huge fan of the giant loincloth, but I am getting used to it. So, there you go. Where is the other guy's head? There it is. Ooh. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, check out guys' questions. Maybe Masterverse could do the movie. Maybe they could. That would be cool if the Masterverse actually released some of the movie figures, because then you could swap them and put them into some of the other classic bucks. But you know what? This is not a bad buck. Don't get me wrong. It's still a good buck. I just am not a fan of the double jointed elbows because it just looks really ugly on the inside cut here. I like the double jointed knees because it hides it well. I actually think it's better than the knees on here. So, but I don't like the upper thigh cut. That kind of ruins the build. I do think the ab crunch on here is better than the ab crunch we had on Classics, because the Classics ab crunch has those weird little lines and the big aesthetic right there on the abs. But at least they tried to hide it with where the abs are. But I think this particular rounded upper torso is a much better design. Even though it doesn't turn left and right, it goes up and down, but it goes left and right down here on the waist. So that works good. And we've seen these torso cuts like this before on a lot of other figures. And this one's actually pretty tight and close to the actual figure sculpt. So not bad, Mattel. All right. Well, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you guys next video. Hey, Pez, thanks for joining us. Try some hot water for the arms. My relation figure can't move their arms lower. I don't understand why yours can't do it. Oh, Yeah, that is. Yeah, it looks like it just bottoms out right there, right on that joint. Well, this side goes down a little lower, but this side, oh, wait a sec, a little more pushing. Oh, look at that. I guess it just takes a little force. Snap! Oh, no. There we go. Thanks, man. Thanks for letting me know that yours goes down further. That is a lot better, being able to go down further. Cool. Well, in that case, then, I might even like these shoulders better than Classics because they didn't have the big old joints on top. So that's a good point, too. But the double elbow joint is cool in Revelation. The forearms in Revelation looks really good, too. So there's pros and cons to both figures. All right. Thanks for the heads up on that. I appreciate it. See, that was Juan Soto. Thanks, Juan. All right. Well, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you guys next time. Bye now.